From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Well, good morning. I'm Monica Garcia, live from the north side with a developing story. A mother was arrested after police say she admitted to killing her 11-year-old daughter. But police say she wasn't arrested here in Jacksonville. She was arrested in West Virginia. Coming up, we're going to tell you the bizarre story that led Jacksonville police to this house right behind me. That's coming up in just 15 minutes.
Thank you, Monica. And also developing this morning, you may have been one of the ones, there's a lot of you, stopped on the Butman Bridge after a crash shut down all of the southbound lanes. It happened around 11 o'clock last night. Still busy.
What a mess. Now, investigators were out there for hours and were told someone was hurt in that crash, but we're still waiting to learn more details from the Florida Highway Patrol. All of the lanes, though, have since reopened. We want to make that clear. And we have a heads up for Georgia residents. Glenn County will try to beat the bug later on today.
Gotta let you know, the county's going to be spraying for mosquitoes over parts of southern Brunswick as well as Blythe Island. That's going to happen around 8 o'clock and 10:30 tonight. So after everybody's all inside, we hope. Now let's check on today's forecast. We've got First Coast News storm expert Mike Prangley in the house. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Getting ready for a beautiful sunrise in about 20 minutes. Michael getting our day started off right. Yes, this is a gift, isn't it? Check out our beautiful place called home. Here's the Jacksonville Beach Pier. Should be gorgeous. In fact, tonight we've got another dazzling moonlight delight. 8:59 on the moonrise, 99% full. So today our runner index 8. We're going to make it great, but make sure you hydrate. It's going to be hazy, hot and humid, starting near 80 degrees already at the beach. Notice the high, low 90s. The rain chances, yeah, they peak out at 4 o'clock, so be careful with the drive home. In the tropics, Tropical Storm Franklin over the Yucatan, making a second landfall into Mexico as a strong tropical storm late week. We're watching another wave in the open Atlantic. We'll see if this gets its act together and go to the King Euro forecast coming up, and also the big weather impacts with the storms and precision-wise where they're going to hit and when coming up. But first, let's get to Lindsay in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Good morning to all of you on this Tuesday morning. Things are looking pretty good. Mike and I were just talking about a little bit of fog that's out towards the Baldwin area and just south of I-10, south of Baldwin. Not causing any delays on the roadways, but we do have an accident at I-10 just to the east of 301. No roadblocks there, but if you are traveling eastbound into the downtown area on I-10, just be very mindful of that. NAS Jack slow coming from the south on 17. Otherwise, though, on our military bases, things are looking pretty good. Going into Mayport, not seeing any issues. And then up towards Kings Bay, things are looking pretty good there. We did have a little bit of a slowdown coming from the south on Charles Smith Senior Highway, but again, other than that, things are looking pretty good. It looks like that accident at I-95 and Southside Boulevard has been cleaned up. If there's anything else on the roadways that could cause an issue for you this morning, I'll let you know. Lewis.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's 6:32 right now. Developing now in Alachua County, deputies are investigating after human bones were found in a home's septic tank. This happened in the town of Newberry. Investigators were there Monday gathering all the evidence. For now, police are classifying this as a death investigation. They have not said if foul play is involved or if they think it is. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office now using social media to help citizens avoid being the victims of crime. Police say there have been 80 auto burglaries this week. It's a short week. And 10 guns were stolen in those unlocked cars in those 80 situations. So the department posts about a 9 p.m. routine each night. It's a hashtag they use, and it encourages people to go out, lock their cars, bring in all of their expensive belongings from the cars, make sure things are safe.
People are messaging our Facebook page. I'm trying to check in. You didn't post a 9 p.m. routine yet because it's 9:15, 9:20. So, you know, people are taking heed. They're taking warning. They want to be involved in their community. They want to do what they feel they can do to help prevent crime.
It really is a cool campaign, and it's such a simple thing to do as you check in. A good reminder. JSO tells us it's already seeing a decrease in auto burglaries, all thanks to those social media reminders, the hashtag 9 p.m. routine. Check it out. All right, new this morning, some more shakeups at some Duval County public schools. With school beginning in just 6 days, our partners at the Florida Times Union reporting that 35 teachers have been reassigned or put on what they call surplus lists, waiting to be placed in a different school. Those teachers were taken out of so-called turnaround schools, which were hitting low performance marks, so the district is making changes to try and help them out. Those teachers were notified about the changes last Thursday, but it is unclear if those spots have been filled yet. Before this, the district had reported to us there are already about 100 teacher positions to fill right now.
Trending online this morning, I'm going to post this on my Facebook page after the show because I really want to hear from you guys about this. Is it a better way to teach, or does it make classes too easy for college students? According to a website called campusreform.com, one professor at the University of Georgia is implementing a stress-free policy. He's allowing students to change their own grades. That website obtained syllabus documents from Dr. Rick Watson. He teaches business classes at UGA. Now, he says if students are worried about the class or the grades that they're getting, they can ask a professor to change the grade. It also says all exams will be open book and open note. Watson also says this gives students more chances to succeed, but ultimately it's up to them to learn the material they need to know. I think it's a cop-out. All right, meanwhile, some teens on the First Coast are getting ready for high school and college right now. They're taking classes at both levels at the same time. That's thanks to dual enrollment. Our Alex Osiris, he's going to show us why thousands in Duval County alone are getting on board.
Flipping the switch on a new school year. For some high schoolers, it's time to get their schedules for college in order too.
Students can take classes ranging from English to aviation.
So how does it work? Dual enrollment kids will spend part of their day at their normal high school taking classes toward their degree. And the rest of their day spent at college like Edward Waters, Embry-Riddle, or here at FSCJ.
It's an absolutely fabulous step right into a very high-paying career, and we're very proud of these programs.
Like Watson, Juliet Johnson of Edward Waters College says it opens up students to new experiences.
Not just academics, but also career-based, letting them know what's out there.
Keisha Hampton explains that knocking out core college classes while still in high school saves everyone time and money.
There are huge advantages. They're taking them at no cost to the student or the parent.
That's because in Florida, the state covers the costs. And for some programs like at Embry-Riddle, a partner of Sandalwood High School, flying drones is more than a hobby.
Leave high school with an industry certification that could lead them to more than just a job.
But a leg up as they transition into another chapter of their lives. In Jacksonville, Alex Osiris, First Coast News.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Just today, the law office of John Phillips is hosting another back-to-school party at Eureka Gardens. The firm has done this in years past, saying this is something positive to talk about since we usually only hear about the negativity from that apartment complex. School supplies will be given out to kids there starting at 3 o'clock today.
All right, on this Tuesday morning, your time now is 6:37, so flying could get a bit lonelier in the next few years. At 6:48, why pilotless planes could be the way of the future. But first, another live look outside this morning. Gorgeous right now, but how is the rest of your morning shaping up? Oh my gosh, this is really a beautiful shot. We're going to check in with your storm expert, meteorologist Mike Prangley, when Good Morning Jacksonville returns in just 2 minutes. Soak it on in. Wow.
I mean, there's no words needed.
It's amazing.
It's like a Picasso, nature's Picasso.
It's a beautiful start to your Tuesday. Things are looking pretty good on the roads. But as we get into the afternoon, we're going to see some showers and storms, yeah?
We are. So best beach time, I'd say this morning, early afternoon, and then things go downhill by 2 o'clock. But let's take a look at one of the reasons the sunrise is so beautiful. I'm saying it's the Saharan dust. So our Saharan dust update showing the red plumes coming from Africa, making it all the way into the First Coast. So sunlight, a little extra dazzling this morning. Now we take a look at the tropics. We know about Franklin. What about this open wave in the Atlantic? Hurricane Center giving it a 20% chance of development. So I went to the King Euro and check it out. We don't have anything big, it looks like, happening with this wave. Too much shear, too much Saharan dust as it just kind of falls apart into next weekend. So plenty of good news, but we got to track those big impacts that include flooding and maybe a couple storms with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. We'll have that precision forecast coming up.
All right, taking a look at your roads this morning, things are looking pretty good out there. We did have a few accidents, but they have all been cleaned up. So we're seeing green on all of our area maps. A little bit of a slowdown on I-10 starting to build as you get towards the downtown area, but the Dames Point Bridge looking good. Your downtown bridges looking pretty good as well. And then the Buckman Bridge looking very nice. Also, drive times about where they should be. We'll start to see them picking up as we head through the next about half hour or so. And look at this. Holy cow, how beautiful is that? That's a live look right now at the Buckman Bridge. You can see the beautiful sunrise with those clouds out there. So a very nice start to your Tuesday on the roads. And if anything changes on the roads, I'll let you know.
All right, sounds great. And it's National Custard Day, so we'll have to get some ice cream later on.
All right, guys, thank you so much. It's 6:41, and North Korea now firing back after it is hit with new United Nations sanctions. How the country is responding coming up at 6:47.
Plus, a Georgia school district comes up with a new way to deal with bus scheduling problems. Your power block of nonstop news begins in just 2 minutes. You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville on this Tuesday morning. It's now 42 minutes past the hour. And welcome back. It's time now for your power block of nonstop news. A big schedule change for a staple event on the First Coast. After months of speculation, the PGA announces that the Players' Championship is moving back to March. First Coast News' Alex Osiris will have all of the details. That's coming up in just 7 minutes. Now, Camden County schools, they come up with a new way to deal with scheduling problems for school buses. For the next few days, students at Camden County High School will get out 15 minutes early.
So the hope here is that those bus routes will then be clear and that they can go to the middle and elementary schools to pick up kids and get them out on time. No word yet on when those 15-minute early dismissals from the high school will end, though. All right, developing now in Jacksonville, a mother is arrested after police say this woman, Erica Newsom, killed her own daughter and tried to hide the body. The 11-year-old girl's body was found almost 700 miles away after a crash in West Virginia. Monica Garcia joining us now live with the very latest in this investigation. Monica?
Well, it's something horrible to think about. It is believed that that mother, 37-year-old Erica Newsom, killed her 11-year-old daughter, then tried to cover it up by staging a car crash. Now, detectives are still very early into this investigation. You can tell we still have Jacksonville Sheriff's Office still out here on the scene. What we know so far is that on Sunday afternoon, that child's body was found near a wrecked car in West Virginia. That's according to a newspaper over there. The paper says the child's mother, Erica Newsom, lost control and wrecked the car, but then she was spotted by a witness removing a body and dragging it to a hill. It was obvious that the child did not die from injuries in that car crash, says a detective over there. They say Newsom later admitted to being abusive towards her daughter and then that she killed her. Meanwhile, here in Jacksonville, detectives were contacted by West Virginia troopers. They were told to come out here to this residence in North Jacksonville. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says they did find evidence that a crime happened here. Of course, they're not saying exactly what. Meanwhile, we spoke with a neighbor who lives right across the street. She says the family seemed like a normal, loving family.
It's devastating, an innocent child, and a child is a gift from the Lord, and they are so special to even have. And if you got a child, just love that child with all your heart.
So far, that mother, Erica Newsom, is just being charged with concealment of a body. And like I said, still very early into this investigation. Her bond is set for $50,000. From the north side of Monica Garcia, First Coast News.
Thanks for that, Monica. And an outpouring of support after a young woman's death here in Jacksonville. Memorials are now growing after the death of 21-year-old Savannah Gold. Those memorials are outside of the Bonefish Grill where she worked and the pond where her body was found. Now, police say Gold was killed by a man named Lee Rodarte, who she worked with at the restaurant. A GoFundMe page that was set up to help with Gold's family with funeral expenses has raised more than $20,000 so far.
Time at 6:47. North Korea vows to boost its nuclear arsenal after it is hit with more sanctions. That's topping your national and international stories this Tuesday morning. The United Nations Security Council approved those new sanctions Saturday after the North's recent ballistic missile launches. Now North Korea has vowed to launch revenge against the U.S. in response. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, will be on the Today Show this morning to talk about North Korea's response. That'll begin at 7 o'clock this morning. The United States will soon send more Marines to a specific area of Afghanistan, according to a new report from NBC News. A task force in that country has requested more troops to help with force protection. Now, according to this report, those Marines won't be deployed from the United States. They'll simply be reassigned from their current station in that region. Yet another home falls victim to this massive sinkhole in Florida, trying to do something about it now, but a 7th home has been condemned in Pasco County. This sinkhole opened in July. 2 of the most recent condemned homes had visible cracks, they had buckling. Crews now say the cleanup effort there will end up costing about $1 million. What a mess. Well, how about this? All right, is this the way of the future? Or maybe we're giving technology a little too much credit. Things may be getting out of hand here. Check this out. A new study from the Union Bank of Switzerland says pilotless planes could be a reality by the year 2025. That study found airlines could save an estimated $35 billion a year by automating the flights. The catch is only 17% of people surveyed for that study, I think 8,000 people got surveyed, said they would actually ride on those planes, though. So the simple question for you is, Keitha, in the year 2025, you doing it?
No, I'll pass on that. And they're talking about the savings. Who cares? They're talking about people's lives here.
I'll pay the extra $75 to have a pilot driving my plane.
Exactly. You can have the $75. All right. Thanks for that, Lou. Let's take a quick check of your weather right now with our storm expert. First, though, look at the shot outside. That sunrise is gorgeous on this Tuesday morning. 50 minutes past the hour right now. So what's in store for the rest of the day?
Wow, this is the best part of the day, that's for sure. We have storms coming this afternoon. Woody capturing that beautiful picturesque sunrise. I think it doesn't get much better than that. Thank you so much, and keep those pictures coming. But we did say some changes this afternoon. It's usually not a matter of if, but when and where. Well, Matilda Harris, my school of the day in Kingsland, looks like rain and lightning picking up the kids from school. So you may want to get in line a little earlier after the school bell rings, 2 to 3 o'clock on that rain and lightning up into Camden County, Glenn County. A little later on the timing of the rain, though, as you go to Waycross and Folkestone, I'm thinking most of that rain will be 5 to 8 o'clock for the kids getting out. So it looks like after school activities could be impacted with frequent lightning and 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. A lot of lift closer to the main front in Georgia. Farther south, Duval, I've got 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with that storm window of 2 to 6. That includes Neptune Beach. St. Augustine, you're in that storm zone with possible flooding as well between 3 and 7 o'clock. And again, with that sea breeze working in, a little extra convergence and maybe a frisky storm with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. We cross the river. Storm zone, Green Cove Springs, Middleburg, Orange Park between 2 and 7. Flooding a threat with slow-moving storms, but here's the deal. Things will quiet down for the silent game. Jumbo Shrimp in Birmingham. First pitch, 7:05. Looking okay. 7-day forecast. Yes, things do settle down and quiet down in time for late week and those weekend plans. Now let's get to Lindsay in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center. And Lindsay, you were saying macaroni. Why were you saying macaroni on Twitter?
Holy macaroni. You'll have to wait and see in about 45 seconds because the sunrise is just beautiful over the Buckman Bridge. So far, things are looking pretty good. A little bit of a slowdown there on 295 going over the Buckman. And then just past that, getting closer to 95. I just checked FHP. They don't have anything on their website, not reporting anything, but I'll keep a very close eye on that. And then a little bit of a slowdown on I-10 there going into the downtown area. Normally builds this time of the morning. Especially as you get past 295, getting closer to the downtown area. Area bridges going across the river looking pretty good. A little bit of a slowdown on the Main Street Bridge, and then the Buckman Bridge just starting to build a little bit. And this is why I was saying holy macaroni. Look at how beautiful that is. Again, just a little bit of a slowdown on the Buckman Bridge southbound, but if anything changes, you can find me on Twitter at FCNLindsay.
We'll be watching. Thank you, Lindsay. That was beautiful. All right, the PGA announces the Players' Championship. Their TPA Sawgrass now moving from May to March. I have a poll going on right now on our website asking if you like the change from the PGA Tour. You can tell us what you think. Right now, we get live poll results. It's firstcoastnews.com/gauge. 80% of you right now who are voting say yes, you like the move. We have been talking about it all morning on Facebook page. Most people saying they like the change from the heat of May to the comfort of March, though rain certainly an issue during that time. Alex Ositis joins us now live, breaking down these changes. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Lewis. And that's right. Golfers are about to tee up this morning for their round, but it's going to be not as early for the Players' Championship next year. You can see this beautiful course this morning. The grounds crew off working and maintaining it today. Sources telling the Associated Press, though, that they're planning a move in 2019 to move the Players back into March, something that hasn't been done since 2007. That's to accommodate the PGA Championship right now, which is in August, that moving to May, and that'll be the first time in 70 years. Now, all of this change partly because of the Olympics happening in August, as well as the championship competing with the NFL year after year. So that is something that they're looking at their schedule to change around and make it a little more competitive for all of those major tournaments happening in the springtime. It's also good for fans who don't want to have to compete with the heat. Now, it also opens up to some other locations around the country, including in Texas, where it gets pretty hot. So that is something that they are looking at, making it more accessible for future events. So something that we're expecting out of the PGA with an announcement coming up at 12:30 today. We'll have more coming up on the news at noon, but for right now, reporting live from TPC Sawgrass, Alex Ositis, First Coast News.
Alex, thank you. At 6:54 now, the fate of a former Florida congresswoman still up in the air this morning.
Corrine Brown was convicted on 18 federal counts related to fraud back in May. A judge ruled yesterday he'll wait to make a decision about her request for an acquittal or a new trial. Brown was accompanied by Reverend Jesse Jackson at the hearing yesterday, who says he is sticking by Brown.
There's so much hostility and division in the air. We seek to move from battleground to common ground. And Corrine has been a big force for good, and I respect her very much. That's why I'm here to stand with her.
No word yet on exactly when the judge will issue a ruling, but we will keep you updated. A man who was convicted in the death of his 8-year-old neighbor when he was a teenager will be back in court today. Joshua Phillips is being resentenced for the death of Maddie Clifton. In court Monday, a psychologist testified that Phillips never planned the murder and he has the potential to rehabilitate. Now, Phillips could still be sentenced to life in prison, but he faces a minimum of 40 years.
Employees at one state education facility lack some very vital skills, according to the results of a state audit of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. The audit found 82 employees there did not meet their required skill level for ASL, American Sign Language, and of those, 26 of them had no ASL skills. The school now says it is revising its policy to set new and more stringent time limits for getting certain skill levels.
Our Jacksonville Jaguars are just 2 days away from their first preseason game, taking on the New England Patriots. The teams have been practicing together and the Patriots aren't holding back, but the Jags are still down a couple key players this week. The joint workouts will continue today.
Okay, here's a pretty big piece of roster news for the Jaguars, and maybe a case of flip-flopping here. Reports are now circulating that recently retired tackle Brandon Albert now wants to come back to his team. He announced his retirement about a week ago, saying he wanted to go back to Miami and run his businesses. The team has not confirmed this, though, but he would be guaranteed a little more than $8 million if he is there on week 1 of the football season.
Wow,
he's on that
pretty
active
penny.
roster.
A lot of money.
So, a lot of money to think about, but as you said, money's not everything. I get it, but that's a lot of money.
I think that's 8 million reasons why.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. And the Jaguars could use a little bit of help there.
Yeah.
All right.
Left
Can't
tackle
wait.
will be important.
Thursday's the big game at New England, and for us here at home, we're talking about storms this afternoon. The storm window between 2 and 6 o'clock, and maybe even a little bit of flooding, so keep your apps handy. Lindsay?
Just a little bit of a slowdown on I-10 getting into the downtown area, and 295 on the Buckman Bridge. Normal for this time of the morning. Ah, how beautiful is
I know.
that?
Can we just stare at that for the rest of the show? It's gorgeous. We don't need CS anymore, right? We'll see you right back here in 30 minutes. Be safe out there.